Okay, so let's imagine that an accident has happened. Let's say it's an accident in a car whilst you're driving on the street, just because it's easier to have an example in mind. So someone has an accident. First question is, are you obliged to offer first aid treatment to the other parties? Is it a legal obligation to stop and offer help?
The first aid is being given compulsory as a lesson when you are getting your driving license, but I don't think that it is an obligation to give, because you may not feel that yourself is like capable to do that. Normally, you need to call the ambulance.
Yes. And how do you call an ambulance in Turkey?
112. When you dial the number, you will be connected to the ambulance service, and the nearest ambulance will be coming to the place of accident.
And I'm told that even in quite remote areas of Turkey, ambulances arrive quite quickly.
Yeah,
there are lots of ambulances in Turkey.
Yeah, and also we have mobile ambulances,
yes.
So I think it's fairly quick to
yes.
Approach them.
If you're driving along, or if you're in the street walking and you see an accident happen, do you have any legal obligation to assist? I'm not now talking about first aid, but do you have any civil obligation to help your fellow man?
It is a general rule I have. So it's not a legal obligation, but as a general citizen obligations, if there's something which is harming to a third party, you have to call the police or call the ambulance. So you may not wish to interfere in in the middle of a fight, but you should call the authorities.
So it's more of a moral obligation than a legal obligation.
I would say, yeah.
Right. So you've been going along, you've suffered an accident in your car, and the first thing you're going to do is call an ambulance if someone is injured. Do you have to call the police if there's an accident? Not just a car accident now, any type of accident? Or is that something you only do if there appears to be something that's criminally wrong?
If there is an injury, you need to call the police.
So even if it's an accident, say in a factory, for example, you still call the police, or is this just in the cars?
I would still call the police. Yes. I mean, if there is an injury, because somebody from government has to come and make a proper statement about how it happened, because a third party might be liable at the end. So if there is an injury, we call the police.
And we've had a separate video about how the police deal with criminal cases, so please, the audience can look at that for more information. But the police will then come and investigate the case.
Yeah, they will take the first notes, and if they think that there are more things to be investigated, then they commence their investigation. And
then they will report it to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor will decide whether to continue with the case.
Exactly correct.
Right. So that happens. So that can take quite some time, of course. I mean,
investigation.
Yes. If you're involved in a car crash, it could be several hours whilst the police are doing that. Yeah,
they are just. Police will be coming to the place of accident fairly quickly.
Yes.
And obviously, the first thing they have to deal with if there is any a problem with the health of the people. So this is going to be the priority.
Yes.
And afterwards, they will start investigation. And when they take the pictures and make the investigation at the place, and they will continue the investigation at their office, and
yes.
So the prosecutor will also continue to.
Now, at this point, I'm going to assume that the accident is not your fault, or you don't think the accident is your fault. So what's going to happen next? If you have insurance, do you have a legal obligation to tell your insurance company there's been an accident?
It depends on you, actually. If you want the insurance company to pay for your damages, then you have to let them know straight away.
Because otherwise they won't pay.
They won't pay. But if sometimes there are some minor accidents which you don't want to really break your policy, what we call it. So yes. You just do it by yourself. And as it is not a consistent, a problem, then you don't have to really let the
yes.
insurance firm know.
So you may decide altogether it's better not to tell the insurance company because of the impact it might have on your policy.
Correct.
And it would be perfectly legal not to tell them.
Yeah, but I have to make the statement. if something is very minor, you don't have to.
Yes.
We call them like a minor defects,
Yes.
yeah? But if it's something major, then you have to.
Yes. And you would be crazy not to, because if you didn't tell them, they wouldn't pay if a claim was later made against you.
Yeah, exactly. And they would find out.
Yes, and they would find out.
Yeah.
They would find out,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, so